Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zach Lee, and welcome back to the Zach Lee Show, the place where I catch you up on everything that's going on in the NBA on a daily basis. News, updates, discussions, highlights, everything every single day in one video. As always though, you guys are the real MVPs. You're coming back each and every single day. Can't thank you enough. But now let's take a look at everything that is going on in the NBA. But first, a quick word about this video sponsor, athleticcases.com. Basketball, baseball, football, or even soccer. No matter what the sport, you can now rock your favorite player on the back of your phone. Use the promo code ZachLee for 10% off your order. Links are in the description box below. Now with that out the way though, on to the video. Let's go. We need to have a little talk about Karl Anthony Towns here. As you guys know, the man just scored a career and franchise high 56 points in his game against the Atlanta Hawks yesterday. A game in which Ben Simmons told him that he doesn't even need to worry about the night before. That it's okay if he stays up all night playing PUBG.
I see you a PUBG master though, so I'm gonna let you be.
You getting it? Hop on, man. Play one.
Yeah, we need one more, man.
You got time. Who do you play tomorrow?
Hawks.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
Atlanta, if y'all saw that before the game, if y'all knew about this, then there is no way that you should have let Karl Anthony Towns score 56 points on you. He was laughing at you while playing video games the night before, and you let him go out there and prove himself right that he didn't need to worry by dropping 56 points. That is unacceptable, Atlanta. That's crazy, but maybe not as much to Jimmy Butler, as during the game when he was showed the stat sheet of what Karl Anthony Towns was doing, he didn't even look at it. He just crumpled it up and kept dancing. Only stat that Jimmy B cares about is W. Anyways, like I was saying, we gotta talk about Karl Anthony Towns here. Now I'ma just say what I need to say right now. The man needs the ball more. On the year, Karl Anthony Towns is averaging 21 points and 12 rebounds per game. For 95% of the other big men in the NBA, those would be phenomenal numbers. But we all know that Karl Anthony Towns is capable of doing much more than that. Just last year, he was putting up 25 points and 12 rebounds per game. And we all thought that this year would be the year where he could take that lead with Anthony Davis level of dominance on the offensive end at least. But it hasn't worked out that way. Jimmy Butler came to town and Cat has sacrificed his numbers and shot attempts more than anyone else. He was taking 18 shots per game last year and is only taking 14 this year, which if you go by who gets the most shots per game would make him the third option on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Andrew Wiggins, of course, like we talked about before, would be the number one option. See, this just don't make no sense to me. I'm sorry, but Karl Anthony Towns should be getting more shots, more touches than anyone else on that team. He should be the most dominant player on that team. Matter of fact, he is the most dominant player on that team, but they don't use him like he's the most dominant player on that team on a nightly basis. And all respect in the world for Jimmy Butler here. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. I love that dude as a NBA player. If I was building a team, I want Jimmy Butler on my team because the guy is a winner. He don't care about nothing. Like I said in the earlier video, he don't care about nothing but the W's. When he first came to town, he said he didn't want to be the guy on the Minnesota Timberwolves. He didn't want to be the face of the franchise, the leading scorer, any of that. He wanted to let Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins lead the team, but it wasn't working out, so he had to kind of take over a little more. But the fact that he was willing to sacrifice should tell you exactly the type of teammate that Jimmy Butler is. And he should be the second option on this Minnesota Timberwolves team behind Karl Anthony Towns. Jimmy Butler would be a fantastic second option on a championship level team, but he can't be the guy on a championship team. The only guy that can be the guy on a championship team on this Wolves team is Karl Anthony Towns. It has to be Karl Anthony Towns. And if that's the case, can someone please explain to me why Andrew Wiggins is getting more touches and more shot attempts than Karl Anthony Towns? It's like one of the most mind-boggling things to me. You have a 7-foot-tall center who can stretch the floor, bang in the post, and take his man off the dribble, shooting nearly 55% from the field and 43% from deep, and Andrew Wiggins is getting more shots than him? Am I just tripping here, or should Etuan Moore be getting more shots on the Pelicans than Anthony Davis? Let me not start ranting about Andrew Wiggins. This isn't meant to take anything away from Andrew Wiggins. I still have hope for him as a player in the future, but he doesn't belong on this team, man. He's gotta go. Bottom line, once again, is this: the Minnesota Timberwolves need to make Karl Anthony Towns their number one option on offense. Get him as many shots and touches as they can. Butler can be the number 2 guy, sure, but in terms of that number 3 guy, first off, it shouldn't be Towns anymore. He's got to be number 1, and it can't be Andrew Wiggins. He does not fit the mold of a number 3 option on offense. He needs to go to a team that needs a pure scorer, nothing but a scorer, because that's what Andrew Wiggins is. And as far as why this happened in the first place, who authorized Andrew Wiggins to take more shots than Karl Anthony Towns? Tom Thibodeau might have to be reevaluated as the head coach of this team. Not only does he run his players into nothing but dust by wearing them out so much, but he has a player on his team who could be up there in offensive dominance with the likes of Anthony Davis, but he isn't using him. He's not using him to his full potential. He'd rather put the ball into the hands of Andrew Wiggins. And I'm gonna leave you guys with this. Jeff Teague almost shoots as many shots per game as Karl Anthony Towns. Jeff Teague. Kevin Durant just went off on all the people who try and use advanced analytics to talk about the game of basketball and which player is better than who is better than who, stuff like that. Look, this is what Kevin Durant had to say about all of that. I don't like analytics at all. I like field goal percentage defense. I like field goal percentage. I like turnovers. I like rebounds, the real stat, true shooting percentage and effective field goal percentage and all that stuff. Come on, man. It's flawed. PR is flawed. Can I make a PSA real quick? All you blog boys and your fanboys that's gonna use everything I say and create articles, watch a basketball game. How about you write that? I just want to say that because all these guys are gonna write articles and get real mad about what I said tonight. They're gonna put their emotions into it. It's not about you. Watch a basketball game. Enjoy the game. Stop worrying about me so much. I just wanted to say that. Kevin Durant out here trying to make me one of his fans again. This move to the Warriors is still one that I didn't respect. I lost a lot of respect for KD for doing that, but I'm not mad at him anymore. And if you're mad at Kevin Durant still that he went to the Warriors, it's time to let go. How long are you gonna stay mad about a player switching cities? Like move on. But still, he has been one of my favorite players in the NBA since then. However, I do have to say that sometimes the man be spitting some straight facts, and it makes me want to be a fan of his again. Because like Kevin Durant, I absolutely hate advanced analytics. You guys never hear me talking about advanced analytics on this channel. I talk about the regular stats, I talk about the games, give my opinion, but I never bring in advanced analytics. I like eye analytics, the stuff that you can see on the court. You don't need no fancy equations to determine which player is good, which player isn't so good. All you need to do is sit down and watch a game and you can make those conclusions for yourself. It's not that hard to see. All that other stuff about per 36 stats, that's probably one of the worst ones. Per 36 stats. On the Dish podcast, link below in the description, me and the other guys are always clowning on advanced stats and per 36 numbers, because what that means is if a player were to average, let's say 12 points and 5 assists in 18 minutes off the bench, their per 36 numbers would be 24 points and 10 rebounds per game. Meaning if they were to play 36 minutes in a game, they could put up 24 points and 10 assists on a nightly basis. That would be their averages if they played 36 minutes per game. Do you not see how dumb that is? If that doesn't make it sound dumb for you, then how about this? If I scored 2 points in 1 minute in the NBA, you know what my personal per 36 numbers would be? 72 points in 36 minutes. If I play 36 minutes per game, I could get you 72 points per game. I can't make this up. This is how it works. Jack Cooley, a power forward on the Sacramento Kings. You've never heard of him before. Do not front like you have. He played 2 games this season, averages 5 points per game and 5 minutes per game. He has a per 36 of 36 points per game. You really trying to tell me that if Jack Cooley steps out onto the NBA court for 36 minutes every night, he's going to be putting up 36 points per game? It don't work like that. Basketball is not some perfect game in which you can scale. There's a lot of things that go on in games that you can't account for. So I completely agree with Kevin Durant here. If you want to use advanced analytics, if that's your shtick, if that's really what you want to do, then that's fine. But don't you dare try and tell me that one player is better than another just based off advanced analytics alone when you don't even watch them play. Yikes. Isaiah Thomas has still been experiencing some pain in his his hip. He's missed the Lakers' last few games because of it. He actually went to go seek advice from some other doctors, and well, now he's actually going to miss the rest of the season as Isaiah Thomas is set to undergo hip surgery. The Lakers announced that Thomas will undergo a scope on his problematic hip Thursday in New York and is expected to have an extended rehabilitation process. I feel really bad for Isaiah Thomas. This is what happened to him because he wanted to try and take the Boston Celtics to the NBA Finals last season. He was playing on a bum hip, trying to win games for that team. This happens, they trade him, and now he's at where he's at. That is actually really messed up, and I feel terrible for Isaiah Thomas because a hip injury is kind of like a back injury. It's something that you can recover from, but you never really fully recover from. He's still going to be experiencing some discomfort every now and then. He may never be able to move the same. And for a guy his size in the NBA, about to turn 30, it's going to be a huge obstacle for him to overcome. But I want to say that the one thing I do know about Isaiah Thomas is that he loves to prove people wrong. He loves to be doubted. He loves being the underdog. People were saying that he shouldn't have been in the NBA in the first place because of his size at 5'9", and that's why he was selected 60th in the NBA draft. He proved everyone that was saying that wrong. So I know he's going to come back next season and try and prove everyone saying that this is the end for him wrong too. And I hope he can, because this would be such a terrible way for his career to start coming to an end. So Kemba Walker became the all-time scoring leader for the Charlotte Hornets yesterday. He passed Stephen Curry's dad, Del Curry, for that title. And by now we all know that Kemba loves the city of Charlotte. He loves playing for the Hornets. He said it a bunch of times, and yesterday he showed it. As in his post-game interview after he became the Charlotte Hornets leading franchise scorer, the man broke down into tears.
Congratulations, that's the first message. These fans, your family, your friends, your teammates, your coaches, everyone excited for you. What are you thinking? Very emotional. You have
dang, see, I've been saying all along how I hope Kemba Walker gets traded so he can be on a good team, so his talents won't go to waste, and Charlotte he can compete. But after seeing this interview, I kind of hope some miracle happens in Charlotte where he can stay there and compete, stay there for the rest of his career, retire happy, maybe even win a championship with the Charlotte Hornets. What kind of miracle it would take for that to happen? I think anything short of Michael Jordan finding a time machine, going back 20 to 25 years, coming out of retirement and lacing up for the Hornets. Outside of that, I don't know what the Hornets could do. That actually wraps up all the news, discussions, extras, updates from yesterday though. Now let's take a quick look at the games and what happened in the games last night. Man, I got a headache just from watching this. Surprised that Joel Embiid didn't get knocked out, as the shoulder of Markelle Fultz continues to cause problems for Philly. Embiid went down after his head and Fultz's shoulder made contact, stayed down for a few minutes too, just in a lot of pain. And after that, he left the game and did not return, actually went to the hospital. Good news is that he doesn't have a concussion, and more good news is that even without Embiid, the Sixers were still able to beat the Knicks 118-101. Dario Saric, guy can't hoop. I mean, if the Sixers ever need him to, the man can take over a game. 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists for Saric. And Fultz, who is still on an extreme minutes restriction, played another 14 minutes, only had 3 points on 1 of 5 shooting, but also had 7 assists, 5 rebounds, a steal, a block, and no turnovers in those minutes off the bench. I think he could be a good all-around player and not just a scorer like people thought he was coming out of college. Karl Anthony Towns, you know you had a great night when LeBron James has a game like this and no one is talking about it because of the game that you had. LeBron with 41 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists, almost another 40-point triple-double. But like I said, because of Towns, not too many people are talking about it. He did tie Michael Jordan for most consecutive games in scoring double digits with 866, 118-105 the final score in this one. I swear the Celtics have to be the luckiest team in the NBA. The amount of buzzer beaters and comeback wins they have is just ridiculous. Marcus Morris just hit a game winner last week to beat the Thunder, and now Jaylen Brown did the same thing to beat the Jazz, as he hit a 3 to get the Celtics a 97-94 win over the Jazz. Brown with 21 points, and Mitchell had 22 for Utah. Brandon Ingram finally returned for LA, and Lonzo Ball went down again for LA. Seems like those two can never stay healthy at the same time. Whenever Ingram is healthy, Lonzo is out. Whenever Lonzo is healthy, Ingram is out. Hopefully this trend doesn't continue in the future. Lonzo had to leave this game in the third quarter with a knee contusion, and it's always something with Lonzo's knee as well. However, the Lakers are saying that there's nothing to worry about here and it's not serious. Julius Randle, though, with his 9th straight game scoring at least 20 points. He had 20 points and 10 rebounds to the Lakers as they get the 103-93 win over Dallas. Damian Lillard missed this game for the birth of his son, but when he left his team to go back to Portland, I think he thought for sure that this team would be able to beat the Grizzlies without him. Well, he was wrong. CJ McCollum did try his best though, as he dropped 42 points, but somehow it wasn't enough. How do you have a guy score 42 and still lose to Memphis? That has to be a terrible feeling for CJ. 108-103. Marshawn Brooks had 21 off the bench for the Grizzlies. And the Clippers win again to keep their playoff hopes alive. They got the guaranteed 111-99 win over the Suns. Tobias Harris scored 27. Last night, I dared myself to try and watch the worst game I could. Fired up League Pass and turned this on and turn it off in less than 5 minutes. I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry, but you guys try watching a game between the Magic and the Nets. You literally feel as if you are just wasting your life. Doesn't even feel like you're watching an NBA game. Maybe if I was a fan of one of those two teams, I could do it, but I'm not, so I couldn't. Nets won though, 111-104. D'Lo with 16 points and 12 assists. And that wraps up all the action from last night. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA videos. Thank you to everyone who came out and tried my app Sports Q yesterday. It was a huge success. And also, I got great news. The Android version is reportedly coming extremely soon, so be on the lookout for that to drop. But the link to the iOS version is in the description if you want to check it out. Other than that though, remember to vote for the player of the day, but also remember that only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, that player was Damian Lillard, and it's 41 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow, but until then, I am out of here. Peace!